Hi, everybody. Welcome to Garbler Games. Over to Aaron.
Hey, Ben. Thanks, everybody. Welcome back to Garblight Games and back to the shadowy alleys and canals of Duskval. We're going to do a quick introduction of our crew of assassins, the Red Ledgers, and then a recap, and then we'll see what this group of scoundrels can get themselves up to this evening. Ty, let's start with you.
Okay, the last lovely thing that happened to my lovely character, Oda Bangle, aka Waziki, and their little monkey friend Eye Patch, well, not so much. I mean, they're not breathing too well. I think they got a couple of broken everything, but their armor saved them. They almost died last session, but luckily I had them protected by the armor. And I got kicked out of my favorite gambling area by the man who is currently trying to bring us all down, and we need to murder him because he also carved out the eyeballs of my old mentor.
And cut off all of his fingers and cut out his tongue. And
yeah, they went ham. They went overkill, sadly.
Content warning. Hi, yes. I'm playing Drogo Ravo, who is known as Placid because he is not placid. Instead, he is a dangerous lunatic. He's a man on the edge. And far from being a quiet, subtle assassin for hire, he is a whisper, a ghost talker who hates ghosts. Likes goats, hates ghosts. Probably read the wrong manual while he was at school. Very complicated story. And I am playing a special, different kind of game to everybody else because I'm playing a game where I try and build up trauma every session. I'm 2 for 2.
So, 2 for 2. You gotta love it. Pat.
Hi, everybody. I'm Pat, aka Spider Queen Long on the interwebs, and I'm playing Madame Asaria Bellevue, a completely normal and not sociopathic noble who definitely doesn't like causing people pain and deriving extreme enjoyment from tricking people into causing themselves even worse pain. Nothing awful going around here. She's practically a saint. And last time we earned ourselves a vice den, and everything went according to plan, and we keep winning, and nothing wrong is going on at all. Isn't it lovely to be inside the head of a madwoman?
Accurate description of what went on.
And from one mad woman, let's go over to Jeff and Leadbelly.
Hi, I Leadbelly, Brian. I make things not work as well as they did before I interacted with it. And my best friend in the world, who's my only friend, Vildren, we chase stars together. He's been taken over by some sort of spirit who's malicious and wants to hurt us. So everything's going great.
Hey, on the upside, at least you know he's real now.
Has anyone actually seen Oleg talking with Eldrin, though? Because until that happens, there's a tiny bit of his mind that's wondering if he's just imagined Eldrin this whole time.
And from Oleg's imagination, we'll slide over to Lewis.
Oh, I'm Lewis, and I'm playing Spence Biscuits Rush, who is a happy-go-lucky fellow who likes shooting things from far away, stabbing things from up close, occasionally punching things. Just general violence and mayhem. And yeah, last week he got into a fight. Well, a couple of weeks ago, he got into a fight with the police in order to start a little mini riot.
And
that's just a hobby.
And that is the Red Ledgers. The last time we were all together, they decided to undertake a score, as was mentioned, to take over a vice den in Fogcrest. They were already at war with Ulf Ironborn and his Skovland gang revolutionaries, but they opted to take this opportunity that Baz Basco put in front of them to remove Xian Cha, a Dagger Isles apothecary and occultist, from Fogcrest and take over her vice den. And as to their reputation of being unpredictable, they struck from underwater and actually very quickly successfully executed their plan and took over the vice den. Jian Xiao fell to them, and her ghost partner was freed. Vowing revenge, took over the body of Veldrin, the dear friend, possibly imaginary, possibly real, of Oleg Ironbelly, and has vowed to drain the souls of Duskval to become powerful enough to wipe the gang, the Red Ledgers, from the face of the known world. While all of this was happening, Ulf Ironborn struck first in the war, going back to the small area of turf that they had taken over in the earliest parts of their career as the, you could say, initial job that they pulled for the Komarov crime family. He found Frakes, a locksmith, looking at the row houses. He horribly mutilated Frakes. Yes, content warning. This is an adult game for adult players who are clearly bloodthirsty. Bad things are going to happen, and it will be graphic in its description. So please, you've been warned. But Ulf Ironborn and his gang horribly mutilated poor Frakes the locksmith to the point where he was essentially living the walking death. He was executed by the Red Ledgers or put out of his misery. And then everybody retired back to where we find them as the camera focuses down into the night market, into Dundridge and Sons, the most famous tailors in Duskfall. We slide past Mr. Dundridge fitting someone, his son Harold, who's just sitting back there waiting for his inevitable call for the Red Ledgers to come and try to fix a broken bone or heal some spirit wounds. We slide into the back of the building through a secret entrance down into the lair of the Red Ledgers, and we find our gang huddled around a table, having just recovered from their last score and realizing that perhaps Ulf Ironborn, it means to do some serious damage to them. So, Placid, what are you doing? What is Placid doing right now?
Freaking out a little bit. Looking around. We've got to kill Ulf. Need someone to give us coin to do it. But yeah, we've got to kill him one way or another. We can't keep doing two things at once. Every time we take a step forward, it's two steps back.
I concur.
Can't be doing that. Need to off the
All
Scove.
has to go.
We could also all become pacifists.
I don't think he's going to fall for that.
Pass a what?
Don't worry about it, Oleg.
I don't want
Okay,
to pass a
I'm
fist,
just gonna go
let
back
alone
to
anything
playing.
else.
And Oleg is there just playing with a grenade. Just like, I wonder what this does. Pulling a pin out, putting it in, pulling it out. I'll just go back to playing.
Biscuits will lean back in this chair, kind of as far as he can get from Oleg.
That ain't going to help.
Yeah, probably not, but it makes me feel better.
2 foot on a table, that's shrapnel.
So, who are the main players who would pay for
It is an
a
excellent question.
Skovelander to find himself no longer amongst the living?
I think I'm perusing, newspapers and little snippets of letters and things that I have on my desk to see if I know anybody who might.
What
Deep
kind of
in
role do you think that would be? What's that sound like to you? You're looking through the broadsheets of Duskval. You're piecing together information. What do you think?
I think this might be a study.
I like it. So it's controlled, risky.
Mhm.
No, controlled standard. So
Yeah. All right. Let's see
All right.
what that was.
4. So
Okay.
you're having a hard time really putting this together. There's the docks have started and the dockers have started to consolidate under Scoveland control, and that's not good, but it's also preventing a lot of information from getting out. However, you did succeed. So one thing you kind of piece together from this is that there's a little underlying tension between some of the Scove factions within the city. Some people, you're kind of getting the impression that some people may not be all that thrilled with falling under Ulf Ironborn's control within the city.
Well, that's something to start with.
And
Going to.
if we can find out who's making moves that aren't necessarily in Ulf's favor, then we could probably surmise who it is that might want to pay for his head.
Right. Yes. Let's see. We have a
Didn't
list of.
didn't Elf team up with the Grinders? Is that
Right.
or is I imagining that too?
No, that's
So-
for real, mate.
Who do the Grinders? Well, I wanted to say grind
Grind.
with, but that seems inappropriate. But who do they butt heads with? Because maybe that's a place to start.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely. I wish I knew out of character the factions a
So-
little bit better.
Just in general, I mean, your basic understanding of the Duskball underworld, you know that the Billhooks don't get along particularly well with the Grinders. There's some clashing there. You also know that the Leviathan Hunters look down on the Grinders because they're aware that the Grinders are trying to build up enough of a war chest so that they can either seize or build their own Leviathan Hunter and become basically a second market in the demon blood trade.
Ooh, that's promising.
All right. A plan
All right.
begins to take shape. It's a really bad plan, but those are the best.
Our favorite kind of plan.
Yeah. So,
They do
right,
seem to be our modus operandi.
Iron Hook Prison. Chock full of criminals. Yeah, loads of them in there. Some of them are going to be
Right,
scovish. Some of them probably able to push Ulf around a little bit. So, what if one of them were to get out of prison and Ulf were to find out that person was going to get out of prison and have to do something to stop that person getting out of prison? But what if also the Bluecoats found out that that person was going to get out of prison and Ulf was going to be there to get them out of prison? And so the prison and the Bluecoats and Ulf and his buddies all come together at the same place at the same time. And then Oleg just throws a grenade in the middle.
I was waiting for the bit where we blow stuff up.
Well, yeah, it doesn't have to be like a literal, well, I suppose it does with Oleg. It could be like a metaphorical grenade. From a lady ship.
I don't think this one works. It's something. I think it's empty. I'll have to find another one then.
Yeah, that's because you've got the fuse over there.
Yeah, and we took all
right.
of your explosives out of everything in the clubhouse.
Well, that's not nice.
It is nice. It's
it's
very
no
nice.
fun.
It's nice for everyone else.
You know you have
Pan-
to ask if you
the
want
camera-
to go to the explosives vault.
The camera pans to like a corner of the room where there's just like debris residue and everything.
I mean, in fairness, I've drunk half of it.
So you've got a potential idea of how you want to approach this. Is that something?
Main
Is that
question
what
is-
you want to pursue?
No, I'm just
Who's
throwing that out
paying
there for
us
the group.
for this?
Creating chaos is definitely an idea. Do you know anybody who's currently in the Iron Hook prison that might be of a caliber willing to, or high enough to convince
Right.
Ulf to take action.
I might be able to find out about some people, but I'll have to take a trip down to the docks.
I imagine that I wouldn't do that if I was you, mate.
Yeah, well,
Mr.
Definitely
Siramina might
think-
know someone who knows someone.
Yes, that's
What about our other
good point.
contacts?
yes. We might as well engage in a little bit of a look around with our contacts, see if anybody knows somebody who's hankering for his death. As for your plan, I like the idea of causing chaos between various factions. I think that would be something that could play in our favor. Making sure that we do the job, though, and not getting caught in the middle of the chaos is going to be the challenge.
Yeah.
Or something like
Well, that's
that.
what the grenade's for.
Right, yes.
Oh, hang on. Speaking of grenades, what am I thinking? Bloody idiot. We got those special grenades that I made, haven't we?
Oh, the spirit grenades.
Yeah.
And just to be fair, I think I made them.
Well,
And I gave them to you. And
Right.
then you used all of them. When I said I needed one for Veldrin, you went and you used them all.
but we've
Not to
got a
be
dozen
critical.
Scovish ghosts in a pot.
yeah.
Eh.
A lot of
Also,
Scottish
I mean,
ghosts.
So,
Oleg.
It's Duskfall. You throw a dime somewhere, you hit a dozen Scovish ghosts.
Fair. Just
so I
this
guess the
doesn't
question
hate us.
is, are you looking to gather some information, or are you ready to make an engagement roll?
I think I'm going to do a little bit of information gathering beforehand.
I mean, please,
I
if
like
someone
to-
else has got a less stupid plan, do say so.
No, I feel
Well,
like that is the very
Remember, we're not planning
fundamental,
here. That's
unpredictable plan that suits us.
This is that's the beauty of this game is we don't plan. We throw out some concepts, gather some information, and then we go with whatever approach you want. So, what would the mistress like to do to gather some information?
Okay. So normally she would go to Basco Baz, and she has had some fun with Basco recently. I think, though, that she might want to go speak to our patron saint herself and see if she maybe one of her underlings or somebody who speaks for her. I don't know if she necessarily needs an audience with the queen, but she wants to see if anybody in that larger circle has any thoughts as to someone who might proffer our group a little bit of coin for the task that we're about to undergo, because odds are we're going to end up spending quite a bit on this, and we need to make sure that our costs are recuperated at the very least.
Okay.
And I don't think that our patron is somebody who's particularly keen on Ulf being as powerful as he is anyway. So I'm going to try to, if I may, consort with our higher ups.
Okay. So you're received at Iramina's estate. She's got several houses in the city, but she does have a small set of apartments here in the night market. So you send out a message that you'd like to meet with her, and she responds that her factor will receive you at their apartment there.
Perfect.
As-
Much appreciated.
As you make your way through the streets and you go up, it's up two flights of switchback stairwells to this upper apartment in one of these buildings. And as you approach onto the balcony to come to the door, there is a very tall, thin man in a three-piece suit wearing a top hat, his face completely covered in a mask. Leaning against a cane, he goes, I believe that I am here to meet with you, or so the Lady Iramina has told me. What is it that I can do for you?
I appreciate your and her response to my request.
Well, I do as the lady requires of me. But and she seems to think that I might be able to provide you some help. So you must be in her good
Yes.
graces for me to be here.
Marvelous. Well, I do appreciate that. We are looking to rid ourselves, my group, the Red Ledgers, of a very prominent oppositional force getting in the way of our work. She's mentioned to us that we should clean up certain aspects of our currently war-ridden estate, and I think that this could be a mutually beneficial endeavor if I were able to come upon somebody who has some degree of antagonism towards Ulf Ironborn.
Yes, she has heard that you're having problems with the Skovlanders. Not something that she likes to get herself involved with. However, I may have some information. What is it specifically that you're looking for?
We want to find somebody who wants him dead so that we can profit from killing him.
What kind of role do you think you need to make here to try to get this individual to...
I was originally thinking this would be a consort, but this is feeling like a sway to me.
Okay, I like it. So it's controlled. I mean, you're meeting under, friendly terms. You're both employed by the same person, so to speak. So controlled, standard effect.
Okay. Is there a devil's bargain to this?
There is a devil's bargain to this. So, the Lady Iramina, if her factor provides information to you, regardless of whether or not you use the information or don't use the information, she is going to expect an immediate favor from the mistress that will happen during downtime.
I can handle that. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Taking that devil's bargain. Okay, not bad.
All right.
Not best, but not bad.
So he's like, from what I've heard on the street, and you need to understand, I have contacts on the docks. Obviously the Lady Iramina has shipping interests. She owns some small parts of interests in the Leviathan Hunters and a few other organizations on the same ilk as the Red Ledgers. I try to stay out of this side of her business, but she does enjoy the criminal underbelly. Apparently, there is a gang of Skovlanders that are being potentially subsumed by this Ulf Ironborn, and their leader isn't particularly keen on losing his gang to Ulf Ironborn. He had originally thought they would be partners, but his name is Hutton. Hutton does not want to see the grinders become Ulf Ironborn's grinders. And there's word on the street that he may be looking for a solution to that problem, as long as it is discreet and does not come back to him.
Brilliant.
But that's all the information that I have. And he takes out, he wipes his hands off, throws the tissue down, he puts gloves back on. He's like, I would prefer that we not meet again, if at all possible. Of course, if the Lady Iramina requires it, I will meet with her criminal consorts. But she did want me to pass on a message to you that she does expect to see you very soon. She has something that she'd like you particularly to handle for her.
As she wishes.
And he walks away without even looking back. We fade back to the lair. Fade back to the lair as the mistress returns.
Ziki, didn't your monkey used to move more?
Yeah, he did. He's I need to get him patched up real good. I'm just like cradling.
Want me to take a look at him? I'm good at fixing things. And
as long as you don't need to take him apart.
Well, the camera pans to the corner, and there's all the things that Oleg has fixed that no longer work in the corner.
They work differently.
Exactly. Some might say better.
Lateral functionality.
I think I'll probably wait to see Harold.
And at that
Right,
point,
fine.
Mistress walks back into the lair.
Excellent news. I think I know who we need to speak to in order to get paid for this job.
Nice.
Believe it or not, the person in charge of the grinders. Hutton.
Should have
He's
guessed,
not
really,
particularly
shouldn't we?
happy. Yes. A bit roundabout, but I think this
I've
could
just
be...
had a brilliant idea. I'll be right back. Or maybe not.
You come up with marvelous ideas. I want to hear it.
It's just gone. Out the door.
This isn't
Big coat
This isn't
flapping
one of
in the
those-
breeze.
times Placid runs off and returns with a cart full of goats in Scotland uniforms, right?
So as the camera follows Placid out of the lair, where does he go?
Placid is going to a military graveyard. Because we fought the Scovelanders in the war, didn't we?
We did, but there are no graveyards in Duskfall. All the bodies are completely destroyed.
Oh, of course, because of the electroplasm. Are there any lingering ghosts of military leaders that Placid might be aware of, given that he is an expendable military tactical nuclear device? I'm going to see if there's any dead folk that want Ulf dead.
Sure. You could definitely try to attune to the ghost field if that's what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be it's risky, limited effect because you're looking for a very specific kind of ghost in the ghost field. However, obviously, Devil's Bargains are on the table. You can push it for greater effect. You can trade position and effect to get greater effect.
What's the Devil's Bargain?
Devil's Bargain is you're going to find what you're looking for. You're going to find military ghosts who are interested, but you're going to find military ghosts who are interested from both sides of the fight.
Yeah, that's not good. I don't think I'll take that one. What I will do is push it, though, because...
Okay. So are you going to push it for greater effect?
No, I'm going to push it for an extra dice.
Okay.
And I'm going to increase it to a desperate position.
Okay.
For an increased effect. Is that great effect or standard effect?
Standard effect.
Standard effect.
Desperate standard.
Desperate standard. One bonus dice. Shaboom!
6. All right. So what does it look like when you go out there? You're actually in 6 towers, and you're almost like you're weaving through, fine-tuning your senses as you're searching for a particular ghost. But what does it look like while Placid is doing this? What does he see?
So he's just kind of hanging out all the old military haunts that they used to go to for drinking, but not so much the rank and file, more the sort of commissioned officer ranks, looking for a captain or a major, probably, who went up against Ulf a couple of times and was made to look bad.
Well, you have found this individual. His name is Tommons, Major Tommons, and his ghost is lingering outside of a Scove pub, actually, in 6 Towers. That's very it's run down, it's shabby, but he is essentially standing as almost like the doorman here. And you can tell as Scovelanders approach, and this is kind of how you initially found him, they get a cold chill and almost as if they're backing away from it as this ghost tries to repel them from this spot. But he locks eyes with you, and you see these dead blank electroplasmic eyes staring at you, and you see this broken body of this war hero.
So I shall nod down the alley to him and sort of slope down there and see if he follows.
He follows behind you. With a 6, I'll say he follows behind you. He's like, why you pull me from my task to repel the Scovlanders from our lands.
Rip him a fantastically beautiful salute. Major, sir. Serve myself, sir. Thing is, I understand that you've got no love lost for a certain Ulf Ironborn.
He spits, and this electroplasmic wad of goo kind of dissipates as it's flying towards the ground. Yeah. Oh, he was a right bastard. Tricky.
Yeah.
Killed a lot of good men.
See, me and my crew, we're planning on remedying that scale, if you catch my drift. I'm going to slot him, sir. He's got a big bag full of grenades, going to blow the crap out of him. Hopefully near the prison, really screw with his life. Just totally mess him up. And wonder if there's anything you can give me that will tip the scale and our balance at all, sir.
Give me your body and I'll take care of it.
Can't do that at this time, sir. They kind of need me for other stuff.
So
orders, you know how it is.
What kind of role, what do you want out of him, and what kind of role do you think you should make to get it?
This was a great idea when I had it. What did I was looking for was like a way that somebody could pay us to off Ulf. So what I'm kind of looking for is either something he can give us for getting rid of Ulf, or a weapon we can use from the other side to tilt things in our favour.
Okay. And what kind of role do you think you would want to make with this guy to try to compel that kind of information from him?
I still think I'm attuning with him and vibing on a spirit level.
Okay. So it's risky, standard effect.
Okay.
And of course, obviously, you can push yourself, devil's bargains, everything is on the table.
I might take a devil's bargain now, though.
Okay. Devil's bargain would be, regardless of whether or not you succeed or fail on this ghost is going to link itself to you. And we will start a clock as it attempts to possess you.
That sounds both reckless and haunted to me.
It does indeed.
I will take that devil's bargain.
Okay. I like it.
And I'm going to go for another desperate standard. How many bonus dice from it's just one from the devil's bargain, isn't it?
Just one for the devil's bargain.
Oh!
You got lucky there. 6. All right.
Thank you, devil's bargain.
So he's like, all right. If you're going after Ulf, I might know something. Here. And it looks like he opens up his own ghostly rib cage and sticks his fingers in, and it pulls out what looks like this ball of maggots squirming all over themselves. And he keeps pressing it tighter and tighter. You hear this horrible squishing noise until he's got it down to about the size of a fist. And then he pushes his fist into your chest and he lets it go. He's like, right, if you get up to Ulf, that's keyed to him. If you get next to Ulf within 24 hours, all you have to do is breathe on him, and that will go off inside his soul and burn it to nothing.
Nice.
If you don't make it in 24 hours, it may do the same to you.
I'll see that we get on it within 24 hours. Mission parameters received and understood, sir.
He goes, I'll be tagging along with you to make sure you get the job done, soldier. And you feel this coldness kind of grip the back of your shoulders and along your lower back, and it almost feels like something is sinking into the dermis of your back, and it's just this cold, slimy coating across your skin. And you constantly now feel this whispered breath in your right ear.
Nice. Comforting.
And then swing back to the lair. Placid's been gone for a little while. What do you, what with the rest of you? Is there anything, any other information you want to try to gather before we make an engagement roll?
Uziki, you love the grinders, don't you? You've had interactions with them before that have been not unpositive, right? Maybe love's a strong word.
Yeah, I mean, they're some pals. What are you wondering about them?
I was wondering if, you might know where they socialize or who amongst them might have means to contact discreetly this Hutton fellow.
I can definitely, I can try. I'm sure I can convince them to play some cards, and
Oda
if they
knows.
lose.
Oda actually does know that Hutton, the leader of the Grinders, likes to hang out in a pub down at the Gaddock rail station, because he knows of some rail smugglers who bring goods in and out, and he likes to keep his own eyes on this group of smugglers because he is looking to potentially take over their organization to help bolster the Grinders' war chest.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I mean, you said the rail station?
At the Gaddock rail station. Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I mean, they're kind of in our neck of the woods. We could head down there, rail station, take a look around, see who can be of benefit to us.
Yes. What do they do at the rail station? Do they stake it out? Do they engage in banter at the various restaurants that might service it? What sort of activities do they get up to there, or do they just watch?
It seems like they're mainly keeping an eye on their prospects.
The conundrum is getting in there without anybody noticing and not spooking the man. We need a cover and costumes.
I could just, I mean, me myself I could probably slip in and pass a message. I can try to do that. That I
like.
Even with Patches here taking a breather out on this one, I can get it done myself pretty easy, I like to think.
Sounds perfect.
Okay, we
relay a message.
Camera cuts, and we see Wazuki at the Gaddock rail station, making your way towards this pub that Hutton likes to hang out at.
Is it one of those things where Hutton would probably have their own little private area in this place? Or
yeah, from what you know, it's a large. This pub is situated so it's facing the rail lines, and there's a large picture window watching the trains coming in and going out, and it's situated near the warehouse up here. And he likes to sit in a corner booth there looking out the window watching. And he'll normally sit there for several hours a day. He's got, the racing paper in front of him. But he like I said, he keeps things pretty close to his vest. So usually he's here by himself, or at least as far as he's here by himself.
I mean, seems like the best plan is if he's hopefully by himself, then I'll try to slip into where he is and have a couple of words.
All right. What kind of roll do you think you'd be making to get in there discreetly?
I would probably think a prowl. Would that be the right one?
I think that's probably a pretty good one. So it's going to be a risky standard roll.
Okay.
You can always push yourself. Devil's bargains. Anything's on the table for Wazuki.
thanks to the new special ability of Daredevil, I think I will make it a desperate action, so I get an extra die on doing
Okay.
this attempt. Of course, I get a -1 die to resist any consequences from this, but that's fine.
So desperate, great effect.
Perfect. And I'm not going to push myself. I'm not going to take a devil's bargain just yet, as I get that extra die for 3. So let's find out. A 4, 3, and a 3.
Okay, so a success with consequences. So you slide in, and things are going pretty smoothly. You think that you're going to be able to get in quietly without anybody noticing you. And as you slide into the booth across from Hutton, he's watching you the entire way. And as you sit down, he's like, took the Red Ledgers long enough to take the bait. Glad somebody finally had the balls to sit down. But so you're in a slightly worse position in dealing with him now because he clocked you the entire way. So you succeeded, but now he's a little unsure about how good you guys actually are at what you're going to do. So he's sitting across the table from you. He's like, so obviously you managed to piece together through the incredible breadcrumbs that I was leaving throughout this entire town that I wanted somebody to do some business. I expected you guys here hours ago, but
there's some other people, other contacts took precedent. We finally got to you when we could.
Right. Okay. So I've got a problem. You've got a problem. One solution will solve both our problems.
I like being impromptu like that. Yeah, we can get it done.
Listen, I know the target's schedule.
Oh?
I know he's going to be down at the old North Port tomorrow morning. I also know that there's an old barge out there run by a cult, the Cult of Woe. You got several problems to deal with. You kill Ulf, you go to war with the Skovlanders, you go to war with the Grinders. You kill Ulf and make it look like he was a traitor to his own people. Well, that's a different story. Then I can smooth things over with the Grinders, with the Skov Council, with the Skov refugees, and with the dockers. And the way to do that is to get him on that barge and kill him in the middle of their ritual circle and put this on his back. And he pulls out this box and he opens it up, and it looks like a human spine, but instead of ribs, it's got finger bones coming off the side, and they're curling and uncurling. And at the top of the spine is a set of human jaws fused together. He's like, you put that on his back. You put him in the middle of that ritual circle, and it'll be clear to all Skovlanders that he's dealing with the darkest magics, and they won't have anything to do with that.
What will this thing do?
Doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't. It'll be a nice surprise to see what occurs when it gets put on their back. I'm excited to see them.
Well, you want him to be dead already. I mean, otherwise,
yes,
you're gonna have a hard time getting it on his back. But he's got to die on the barge.
Okay,
you've got to get him to the barge alive. He's got to die there, and then put this on his back.
All right, we have ways to simply put people to sleep. Don't worry. And we'll drag him on there, and I'll sink a knife into his heart, and put that on his back.
Right. You kill him, it doesn't lead back to me. You make it so that he looks like a traitor to the Skovlanders. We're good. The Grinders won't be coming for you, and no other Skov will be coming for you. You'll be free to go back to the docks, and our deal will be done. If anything ever comes back to me, well, then you're going to have other problems.
That's understandable. My question, about the cult of Woe? Do you have any ties to them? And should I have to worry about if they get caught in the crossfire? Will that make you upset or
I don't
no?
get. You're gonna
Good.
have if they're there, you got to kill them too. Nobody can witness what's going on.
Perfect. My mistress will be very happy to hear this.
Great. Get out.
I leave as fast as I can. I have the box though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
fades to black. We come back up. We're in the lair. We've got a couple of potential paths to go here. Let's talk engagement roll though.
This guy is going to have such a bad day when we get all this on him.
Holy, I'd say.
So you've got you've got a lot of moving pieces here. Now, are you thinking an assault, a direct assault? Are you thinking deception, lure, trick, or manipulate somebody in a situation? Stealth, occult, social, or transport? So you know where he's going to be down at the North Docks tomorrow morning, and you know where you've got to get him. But how you go about either part of that is up to you. But your engagement role is going to be you cornering him in the North Docks. So that's where that's where the action will start. If you decide to go take him to this barge and deal with him there.
It's not going to be standing around on his own on the North Docks.
True.
Probably not.
No, but perhaps
Staring wistfully out to the water. So, you know.
What sort of work would he be doing at the Northern Docks, do we think? Do we have any indication as to what normally he would be doing on the Northern Docks?
Breaking kneecaps, probably.
You expect that since the North Docks are outside of the lightning barrier, that he's probably either receiving goods to assist in the Scove rebellion, or potentially waiting for Scovelanders to come there, or maybe he's smuggling people out back to Scoveland. You don't know. But you expect that since it's outside of the lightning barrier, whatever he's doing down there, he's trying to do discreetly.
Right.
So if we put something
Briefly,
he
but
wants
probably with
out there,
lots of people about.
Yeah.
That help
Deception
him.
or trickery, luring, those options strike me as the ideal.
We
can.
There's.
We
could try our first method, and the carrot and stick method. Oda can be the carrot, and we could make it so they chase me.
We could float a barge just out there so that he can see us and sit having a tea party.
Yeah.
Right. We could literally use yourselves.
Oh,
Biscuits. We will need so many biscuits.
Hilarious.
Please.
I hate you guys so much.
So are we thinking?
No, I'm thinking we should nick someone that he's quite fond of, and then have him pop up out in the water, going help, save me, and then he'll go out and save them, and then slipped in the bar, his head fell right into the bacon slicer.
What are the chances of him going out to save them or sending other people going out to save them?
Right. We need to get him.
Either
alone.
way, he's suddenly.
So let's not get too deep
around.
into the plan.
Yeah, let's not go super.
I think it seems like deception is what we're shooting for, is what it looks like. Because either way, it sounds like we're gonna either make people around him disperse so he's by himself, or something like. So yeah, I'm saying deception. What's everyone else think?
I think some sort of trickery / deception is what I'm thinking as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the method of deception? So are you trying to lure him like Ty said, that, tried to get him to chase one of you towards this barge, or you just your general method?
Bluecoats.
Bluecoats,
that was a part of the original plan. If the Bluecoats all descend on the North Dock, he's going to have to go somewhere, isn't he?
We have been riling them up against the Scovelanders. By we, I mean me.
Okay.
I did mention that earlier, but I have.
So a blue coat raid on the North Dock while he's doing his thing, he's going to be like, all right, let's scarper, or whatever it is they say in Scovia, and then we do our thing.
Okay. Everybody
the
good
barge
with
is
that?
probably out there though too.
Incidentally,
You have to avoid-
I'm currently possessed by the ghost of Major Tommons. Did you ever meet him, Biscuits?
Not that I know of.
Alf did him dirty. So, yeah, he's come along for the ride, given me a little something
Okay.
to slip into his soul.
Okay. Is
So-
this a thing we need to worry about, or
No, just blow him up from the inside, spiritually speaking. No collateral damage, except for spirits, but not yours.
all right? So now we have 2 lead bellies. That's what you're saying.
No!
Nice.
Leadbelly's
What?
an enlisted man. The Major is an officer. Also, he gave me a maggoty hand grenade.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Leadbelly
So
don't use
the-
maggots in his grenades.
I put
I
the box
tried
down on
once,
the table.
Incidentally, but they
No,
weren't
then.
very explosive. So no, didn't work.
It's what it is.
So we've got the blue coats. Then your plan is to convince the blue coats to stage a raid on the North Docks, thereby forcing Ulf to the area of the docks where this barge is located, and then you're going to get him on the barge and dispose of him there. Okay, so let's do our engagement roll then. Is this so you got 1 die just because you're lucky and you're hopeful.
I hope we do
Is the
better on the
operation-
engagement than last time, because that was a shambles.
Your last engagement.
Oh, no, the
went
first
pretty well.
engagement was the
First one went
shambles.
bad. So is this particularly bold or daring? I would say yes. That takes us up to 2 dice. Is the operation overly complex and contingent on many factors? Absolutely. So it's back down to 1. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability to the target or hit them where they're weakest? I would say no. But if they're not
'cause
either.
He's not got magic, and we've got a crap ton to throw at him.
Well, he actually you don't know that he doesn't have magic because you guys didn't look into any of the particular details about him.
Fair.
So you don't know if he's vulnerable to this approach, but you also don't believe he's particularly got any particular defenses. So nothing there. Any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for the operation?
Yeah.
Yes. Enemies or rivals interfering? Yes. So you're still at 1. Any other elements that you might want to consider? Okay. You're back down to
We're
0
very
dice.
handsome.
So, well, you're going to attempt to be using the blue coats as part of your plan, and have them leave the lightning barrier. They're a much higher tier than you are, and you're setting them up to do something dangerous. So your engagement is a 0 dice. So you roll 2 and take the lower. Who wants to make the fortune roll?
Is there anything we can throw in to make this more favourable? Like, we've got those spirit hand grenades and a maggot bomb and a chattery skeleton thing.
We don't
and
have any
puppet-
spirit hand grenades. You used them all.
No.
We're out.
I think you're missing the point, Leadbelly. We've got them,
No.
and they're full of ghosts that will explode.
Oh, got it.
So not for the engagement roll. The engagement roll is set. Now you can use flashbacks after the engagement roll to try to
Offset how bad the
improve
engagement
your
roll is going to
position.
be.
Yes, but the engagement roll is 0 dice. So roll 2, take the lower. I think since it was Placid's plan,
Oh,
Ben should roll the fortune dice.
I mean, I don't mind rolling it if you'd rather me roll it, Ben. I can
fair
do
point.
it.
I'll roll it.
Okay.
Your luck only works when your monkey's not in a full body cast.
True.
Roll fortune, and it's 2 dice,
2 dice, take the
and
lesser.
take the lowest. Notes? No, there are no notes. Just. Oh,
Bummer
good.
that.
So a 1. So you guys are starting in a desperate situation.
That means we're winning.
True.
Means everything is up from here on in.
So what we
Yep.
do is we find ourselves as this is getting ready to start. We find ourselves in Dunslow, near the Blue Coat Precinct House, where you are preparing to trick them into heading to Northport. How do you do this?
Hmm.
Sorry, Princess, trickery's your thing.
Right, yes.
I could do it, but I'd need a cart full of goats
Mm,
and some blue coat uniforms.
Okay. Well, thinking about that, I'm going to do a flashback in which I acquire a blue coat uniform of my own. Trickery,
Okay.
after all.
I like it. So
not
just
for
for
goats.
you or for you and everybody?
I think I'll get one for everybody. I think this could work. We could be a
Ooh.
squad.
Okay, I like it. So the day before, hours before actually, because Placid only has 24 hours before this
Right.
goes off in his chest. We find the mistress who has made her way into the Blue Coat Precinct House covertly in Silk Shore. How do you go about getting these uniforms?
Yes. So,
We live behind a tailor.
true. So I'm in the precinct, and I've snuck in.
That's up to you, but yes, you could have.
Well, maybe I've spun a yarn actually, about needing to. Do they have some sort of? I don't know. They're asshole Victorian cops, so I don't think they do nice public things like lost and foundy, or like maybe I'm here for like a some sort of complaint. Maybe I'm trying to file a complaint.
Okay.
Because I'm a noble and I want to speak to the manager.
What? So there's a desk sergeant comes out. He's like, "What can I do for you, ma'am?"
I would like to report a robbery at my my estate down the way. I'm Madam Sandhill, minor noble from out of town. Sorry, my housing, rather, not my estate. My temporary housing while I'm here. It's in a nicer district, but or a nicer part of this district. But I left the other day, and I was startled to find that my door was wide open when I got back. I did not leave it like that. And several items of jewelry had gone missing. I simply must file some sort of report so that we can get this tended to. Those were family heirlooms, you understand.
Oh, yeah, obviously, ma'am. I'm so sorry to hear that this has happened to you. I'll take you back. One of the inspectors will take the information down from you and open a case file for you. You'll have to wait a few minutes back at their desk for them, but they should be along momentarily. He leads you back to a desk. And he leaves you alone. Heads back to up to his watch station.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm not particularly good at this, but this definitely seems to me like I'm going to be making a prowl roll to find their uniform storage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Risky standard.
Okay. And is there
obviously you can push yourself or devil's bargains or
is there what would the devil's bargain look like? I'm not necessarily sure I'm going to take it, but it look like
the devil's bargain. Regardless of what happens, whether or not you succeed to get these uniforms or not, an inspector is going to start looking into your family because of this police report.
You know what? That's kind of
inspectors are the uncorruptible cops in Duskfall. They're the Judge Dreads of Duskfall.
Oh, that's bad. I did just give my saintly alias. So they will find that that's not a real person.
It's possible.
Or they'll find that it's connected to me, which is terrifying to think about. You know what? I'm going to take it because I think that's fun for story reasons.
I like it.
All right. That's a mixed success.
Hold on for just 1 second.
Yep. No worries.
as I add this little clock around for you. So a 4. So success for consequences. So the consequences are you're going to succeed, but we're going to take 3 blocks off of this 6-block clock for this inspector to really start to interfere in your life as they begin sniffing around your false stories and your false identities. But you were able to get a hold of the uniforms for you and the entire group. That was fairly straightforward for you. So that's just a 1 stress flashback, and you have uniforms for everyone.
Excellent. Well, I suppose we can now roll up in style.
So that brings us back to your engagement roll. So now you are all posing as blue coats, so you don't technically need to necessarily get the blue coats to help you. So
we
your
want
engagement,
to, though, because I
It's up
might
to
have
you.
an idea for that.
So I mean,
Right,
you're all dressed as blue coats now. You are in Dunslow, preparing to either move across the lightning barrier into the old Northport with other blue coats or on your own. What do you do?
So do we want to get the rest or some more blue coats with us?
I should
mean-
think so.
Hey,
You could
go
use-
big or
Necessarily
go
with
home,
us, but just, on the scene.
right? Pincer movement.
Biscuits flashback.
I like
Having
What is the biscuit
acquired
of a
these
flashback?
uniforms.
Is it Garibaldi?
Yeah. Having acquired these uniforms, we flash back to Biscuits wearing said uniform in the nearest police precinct, holding a cup of tea with a tray with a biscuit on it, walking up to like one of the sergeants or whatever and going, "Here you go, sir. So, what gear are we
you
looking
knew
at?"
down here in Dunslow? I haven't seen you before.
I usually work night shift. I got
Oh,
promoted.
thanks for the biscuit. What can I do for you?
So, this North Docks raid, what gear are we looking at for that?
North Docks raid? What are you talking about?
The North Docks raid. It was on the schedule. It's
All right. Well, what was your question?
well, what gear we're going to be using for it? We'll have to get people equipped.
Standard kit.
Okay. problem.
I'm sure I would have remembered the briefing if there was something particular going on down there, but
Oh well, I'm sure it's nothing. The Biscuits will walk out, grab another cup of tea and some more biscuits, go to someone higher up than that, and be like, "The sergeant was wondering what gear we're using for the North Docks raid."
so what is it that you are trying to accomplish here?
Gaslight girl boss them.
None of them will want to admit that they have either forgotten or don't know what's going on. And if enough of them have heard about this North Docks raid, they're going to turn up for the North Docks raid.
I like it. So what kind of role do you think you are trying to use to accomplish this?
Bureaucracy is its own worst enemy.
Yeah.
Feels like a consort or a sway.
Yeah,
It
it
sounds
does,
that
but
way
I'm
to me,
really,
but-
really bad at that.
I mean, or a finesse, because it's a subtle
Ooh,
misdirection, isn't it?
You know,
Yeah.
I would go with finesse. That makes sense too.
Problem is, I'm not
Especially
great at
with all
that.
the handing out of donuts and such to the
That's
officers.
the beauty of the game. You don't have to be
Yep.
great. You just have to be bold.
Yep. As it's in Biscuit's instinct, I'm going to go with finesse.
Okay. Obviously, you can push yourself or devil's bargains, anything of the like.
What would the devil's bargain be in this?
The devil's bargain would be that
That's got to be a
this
fun
commanding officer, who you're finally going to convince about this raid, is going to make you his adjutant, and you're going to be glued to his hip during the raid, and we'll have to find some way to deal with that issue.
See, you could tell that Aaron's an American. If he'd been British, he'd have said, This guy is going to eat the jammy Dodgers from your biscuit selection.
Yeah, that
would have been worse.
And I would have definitely never been able to say that, pull that off. So, yes.
I kind of want to take it. It just sounds too good.
All right.
I'm gonna go for it.
So you get a bonus die. So you are looking at controlled standard effect. Because right now, I mean, you're just another blue coat talking to blue coats about blue coat jobs.
There we go. Wish me luck, people.
Good luck.
6. So
Yeah.
this commanding officer looks at you. He's this captain. He's like, right, that's right. Make sure all the men get loaded up. You and me, command team on this one. You seem to know what's going on. We'll hit them. We'll hit them hard. It's got to be a smuggling operation down there or something. That could be the only reason we'd be going down to Northport. All right.
That's what I've heard. Wasn't it something to do with that trouble with the, all the trouble lately with the Scovers?
Probably. Bloody. No, I'm not going to get started with that. But we'll hit them. If they're doing bad, we'll take him out. So that's a 1 stress flashback for you because that was pretty straightforward. But you've got the blue coats with you. You guys are moving into Northport. 2 squads of blue coats moving in, or what appears to be 2 squads of blue coats moving in. As you're approaching, you go past Stone Lane, you get past Raven Road, and you see Ulf Ironborn and a group of Scovlanders. And it looks like all their eyes, they're focused out with some spy glasses. They're clearly looking for something, some sort of ship coming in to the docks. But right as you're moving in, a couple of people stumble. They make a whole bunch of noise. The Scovlanders turn and see what's going on. You're in a desperate situation with standard effect. This is your engagement roll. In effect, what do you do? The blue coat CEO looks over to you. Biscuits, he's like, right, let's go. We'll take a round to the right, round him up.
Yes, sir.
Sure thing.
Um,
Come on, everyone. Get to it.
Hup, 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 hup,
so I assume we're doing a pincher
I
then.
assume they have one of those whistles or whatever. Just
So,
blowing it.
but what action are you trying to take here?
Ooh, you know what? I don't think Madame Asaria is with them. Can I do a flashback?
You may.
Okay. She's in a different costume, or she's going to be in a different costume. She's going to rent a rowboat, and she's going to be the getaway driver for Ulf Ironborn. That's the plan, at least.
Okay. So you're looking to have traditional Scovland garb and a rowboat.
Or something that looks kind of, at the very least, if not traditional Scovland garb, somebody who looks like they work the docks, very non-assuming, probably give myself a wig or something and some sort of other hat, like, some sort of dirty chapeau, kind of dock handy looking vibes.
Yeah, Dirty Chapeau's last album was the best one, I think.
Yeah.
No rolls required for that. So it's a straight 2 stress flashback, and it costs you 1 coin to get the rowboat, get everything you need, and get into position there on the shore as you see the blue coats coming over, whistles blaring. The remainder of the 4 of you, what as disguised as blue coats, what is it that you're...
Biscuits is gonna start shouting orders incoherently and just try and create mayhem so that it turns into chaos and the Scovers have a chance to break in all directions. And things just descend
what kind of
into
role do you think that is going to be?
I mean, it feels like a wreck because we've got a nice plan and I'm gonna wreck it.
Does sound like wreck. Okay, so this is your role. So you're desperate. Standard effect. You got devil's bargains. You can push yourself.
What's the devil's bargain on this one?
The CO standing right next to you is immediately going to realize that you are not a member of the Bluecoats, and he will react accordingly.
Instead,
Could-
can I assist
Yeah, I was
in
gonna
with
say the same
with
thing.
helping making
can.
everything in disarray?
Yeah, you totally can. You can take this stress to give a bonus die to Lewis's roll.
Okay, and just one stress, or the two?
It's one stress. One
Oh,
stress to assist. Two. Now you've got me wondering.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
One stress to help, two stress
Yep.
on your own, I think.
Yep. Yes, one stress, and you get a bonus dice from that. Biscuits. Of course, you can also take the
Okay.
Devil's Bargain, or
Yeah,
No?
I'm not gonna. I'll just rely on the
All right.
assist.
so desperate. Standard effect. One bonus dice.
Pandemonium.
2 and a 1. Okay, so this is what happens. You start yelling these different orders. The Bluecoats immediately understand. They don't recognize any of you, and they now know you're don't know what you're doing, and they recognize that they've been caught in some kind of gangland issue. So, Biscuits, the CO turns to you and fires his pistol point blank range into your stomach while he yells out,
Oh.
"Fall back, men! Fall back!"
Oh,
Now, you can resist that. And I apologize, everybody. Load. You're all dressed as Bluecoats, so I'm going to say you really can't go heavy load here, but you can go standard. So you can either be wearing armor, or you can make a resistance roll, or you can just take the damage from a desperate gunshot wound to the chest.
I think.
and the assassins for game, we have an extra 2 as well. So with normal, we can be at like 7. So armor's probably a good idea.
I'm going with normal load, and I think I will use armor, as I was expecting things to turn into close quarters mayhem anyway.
Okay, so do you want to resist with your armor? Or do you want
Yes.
to... Okay.
I don't
so
know.
click...
What's the difference?
It doesn't cost you stress when you use your armor to resist. Your armor can only be used once during the... Okay.
No, that sounds useful, as
So
I'm
click-
high on stress.
Click off both boxes of your armor, and your armor's been used. Perfect. And instead of taking level 3 harm, blown out artery, you take level 2 harm, collapsing lung. So you get -1 dice to all of your rolls going forward.
Get less effect.
No, you fill out your level 2 harm completely.
But I still get less effect.
No, your
'Cause
level
I'm
2
tough
harm is
as nail.
yeah. Good deal.
Ah.
So just a less effect. That's nice. I like it. And so now the Bluecoats are scattering. The Skovlanders are looking now. Everybody's just kind of turned and they're looking at you, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. But we're past the engagement roll now. What do you do?
So, can Oleg initiate a plan of action? I want to do a flashback, if I can, to Oleg earlier in the day, planting a handful of random explosives. Probably not even sure exactly what all of them do. Maybe grenades, maybe smoke bombs, just a little bit here and there, so that when the inevitable plan goes south, he can use some sort of spark trickery to try to get it to go off. And so, yeah, I just want to like place it around near the docks, something that would kind of push them towards like where the boat would be, that the escape, and just create the mayhem that Biscuits was trying to create.
Okay. And that's pretty straightforward. I would say, as far as flashback stress goes, that's just a 1 stress because you basically come down here. But it's going to cost you guys 1 coin to acquire all of the explosives.
Okay.
And they are placed. The explosives, you laid them out that night before. They're all over the area. You see everything right as it goes off, and your mind clicks over, and you see the blue coats pulling back, heading north towards Dunslow. You see the Scovlanders turning and preparing to deal with you. And you remember, you were like, did I actually do that in a drunken or befuddled haze? You remember placing explosives all over the area.
Okay, that grenade there, that's dangerous shrapnel. Smoke bomb there. And he's getting it completely wrong in his head as he's doing it. And then he just I don't know if we've got some sort of spark light, spark device to just sort of trigger it. And just as Biscuits falls to the ground, well, yes, it's time. Shh. And just explosions everywhere, and it creates an atmosphere that I think Oleg can function in much more keenly.
I like it. And what kind of role do you think you want to make with this?
Tinker makes the most sense, I would imagine. Trying to time, get everything together is probably his.
I say this is desperate, great effect. If it works, it's going to really work, and if it doesn't work, it's really going to suck.
Right.
Can I also help on that one? Oh, no, it was I probably not. I probably can't. I don't think I have Tinker. I could try to
help me.
I could have helped
place him.
Yeah, like two sets of hands. And...
Okay, so Wazuki, take 1 more stress. Oleg gets another dice. Devil's Bargain is still open if you want it.
What would that be?
The Devil's Bargain here is. You damage the lightning barrier, +3 heat to the score, and the Spirit Warden starts to take an interest in your activities.
Wow, that sounds pretty terrible.
Can we please not swap one enemy for another?
No, I'll just push myself, I guess. I'll do 2 more stress.
Well, actually, you already got the die from Wazuki, so you.
Oh, okay.
He assisted, so you can't push yourself and take the assist at the same time. But
I thought it was push yourself or take a Devil's Bargain.
If he gives you an assist, then you can take the Devil's Bargain, but you can't push yourself and take an assist at the same. On the same roll. However, you do have fine tinkering tools, right?
Yeah. So let's go ahead and say that's part of my underneath my my blue. Maybe the reason they figured us out because my 35, 52, 35 sized uniform with this some sort of bandolier of various grenades and ingredients tucked underneath that I've probably very clearly seen under the felt. So he probably has those with him.
Okay, so that'll take it down to risky, great effect.
Okay, risky, great effect. All right, let's do that. And great, and I got the 1 die from Wazuki. That is a terrible row.
Okay, so the explosions go off. I mean, that happens. The entire beach starts to go up. The docks start to go up. Part of the building behind you explodes. Shrapnel comes whisking out. Everyone fill up your level 1 harm. Shrapnel.
Flashback.
Okay.
And including me, who's out in the
no,
ocean?
except for the mistress. If your level 1 is already full, you take it up 1 level. But
I'm going to need to flashback at that point, Aaron.
Okay.
Because...
So real quick, if you're level 1, like if you're like Lead Belly and your level 1 is filled up with bruised collarbone and thoroughly battered body, you fill up your level 2 shrapnel.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can we
What-
use armor on this or no?
Well, that's just that was my next point. You can all
Oh.
resist this harm, either using armor or you can make a resistance roll if you'd prefer not to take the damage. So, who wants to attempt to resist or use armor to avoid the damage?
I will do armor, I suppose.
Okay. So, since your armor is destroyed, but you take no damage since it was going to be level 1 harm. Biscuits.
Resist uses stress, right?
Yes, it's a stress mechanic. So you would roll your prowess roll, and it's 6 minus what you roll. That's how much stress you take.
Oh man. I think at this point I'm just gonna take the shrapnel for now.
Okay. And Placid, you wanted to, let's go with Mizuki first. Do you want to resist this?
I do. I will try and roll for it.
I like it.
Is it prowess or something?
It is prowess, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you take 1 point of stress from it.
Okay. And does that mean I don't have the shrapnel?
It reduces it, and since it was level 1 harm, yes, well, yours would have taken it up to level 2 because you would need one more block. But yes, so you're just down to level 1 block.
Okay. There's dislocated shoulder, and then I put in the shrapnel on the other block.
Because shrapnel would have filled out your level 1, so it would have taken it up to level 2. So it's just down to level 1.
Cool.
All right, Placid.
Yeah, I'm not there.
Okay.
That wasn't actually Placid stood there in that uniform. That was some poor mug that he told had to be there. Just picked like some total nutter off the street and was like, right, this is what you're going to do. And he was really intense and in this guy's face, just like, do this, get out of this place, follow along, everything will be cushy. Right? So this poor geezer who was left stood there being filled with shrapnel was lucky enough to have been given one of the spirit grenades.
Oh no.
Which then goes off because this poor random lunatic from an alleyway has just been filled with shrapnel. So, what?
How do you? Okay, so you flashback. We see Placid in this alleyway the night before, talking to this individual. How do you convince him to do this?
I am commanding him
to
do it. I'm giving this guy orders that are really clear, really concise. Go with these people to this place in these clothes, and you'll be fine. And of course, he isn't fine. He's getting filled with shrapnel, and I'm sorry for that, poor random bloke.
Okay. So this is going to be a risky limited because you've got no hold over this guy. You're just trying to make him do something
Fair.
for nothing.
Fair. Haven't got any booze to give him. And you said risky.
Limited. You can push yourself.
And I will push myself.
You can take a devil's bargain, and if you didn't want to push yourself,
I've considered the devil's bargain, but I can't think of anything that wouldn't be horrible.
I want to be horrible.
Like, oh look, another ghost in my head. I'm running out of space.
You are haunted, so
yeah, I'm turning into an asylum. So I will just push myself for that one extra dice. And here we go. Fingers crossed. 5.
Success with consequences. Okay. So you succeed. The consequence is that you convince this guy to do this, but instead of it just being a 2 stress flashback, it's a 3 stress flashback because of the amount of how difficult it is to get him to do this. So you're up all night cajoling this guy, and you're fairly exhausted. But you do get him out there. You do give him the spirit grenade. He does get filled full of shrapnel, and the spirit grenade does go off. But the big question is where is Placid?
Placid has swum out to that barge.
Okay. So Placid's on the on the barge of the cult of the cult. Is
Not
that
on
where
the
you're at?
barge yet, just kind of in the water at water level,
Okay.
ready to sort of creep up the side. Maybe not so much creep because I just looked at my creeping skills and they're non-existent.
Yeah.
So the spirit grenade goes off. The spirits that were in the grenade go off, and let's see. There's only 3 of you guys there at the moment. So we're going to roll a d6. 1, 2 Biscuits, 3, 4 Wazuki, 5, 6 Oleg. Biscuits, I need you to do a resist roll, and you're going to be resisting against resolve.
Yay. I'm really, really good at that.
Okay. So this spirit moves through your body and latches into you, and you feel it just kind of rolling around, almost like it's rolling in the pit of your stomach. So we're going to start a little very short clock here for you called Spirit Death. And you've got a few hours to deal with this before it kills you.
I have a solution to that will also probably kill me.
So
But,
all the grenades have gone off.
Oh no, just
the
just one.
Scovlanders.
Oh, you mean Oleg's grenades? Yeah, they all went off.
Yes. The one spirit grenade went off. All the other grenades went off. The Scovlanders, many of them are down. The rest are scattering. You guys do see Ulf Ironborn running towards the surf. Is there anything the mistress? Okay.
Oi! Your mate sent me.
What? Oh, who? What kind of role are you trying to make to convince him that you're there for him?
I think this is a sway.
All right.
And let me name drop somebody other than the grinders that he associates with. Not somebody he necessarily expected, but maybe somebody who might have been hinted that this would go down and would need one of his guys that isn't directly here, somebody whose name I would have caught earlier.
Yeah,
your mate sent me. He said there was going to be some funny business down here.
Also,
wanted me to make sure that you got out all right.
So this is a risky but great effect. You're in the right place at the right time. He's disheveled. He's running. You did the name drop. So if this works, he's going to jump right in your boat.
Risky and great effect?
Risky, great effect.
All right. What's the devil's bargain here?
Devil's bargain here is a couple of the other scoves on the beach are going to survive and remember you.
Oh, I look pretty different from usual, so I'll take that devil's bargain.
Okay.
All right. And I think I just go for it then.
Okay.
All right.
Success with consequences. So the consequence is they're going to get a better look at you than you thought they would. So the clock is. Scopes hunt you down. It's a 6 block and it's half full. But Ulf dives into the boat. He's like, "Oh, thank God, you got to get us out of here. I should have known better to come down here while I'm at war."
You got it. All right. You got it, mate. And I start rowing out to the barge.
Okay. Biscuits, Oleg, and Wazuki. You guys see who you know to be the mistress rowing this small rowboat out towards this barge. What do you do?
Any more scovers around? Or...
They scattered. So most
Not
of them
inside.
are dead. Yeah, no, most of them are dead. A few of them are still running, but nobody particularly close. And you could definitely take the time if you want to hunt them down. But
Mainly want to
Wazuki
make sure they don't see us.
Wazuki would probably be heading towards the barge, and possibly I'd want to do a flashback of perhaps setting a way, like a way that we can
Another boat.
easily get in to said boat.
okay, okay. So, talk to me about what this flashback would look like.
Yeah, so we flash back to before putting on our disguises, and Wazuki would kind of be like skulking around, checking out the barge, slinking about with their shadow cloak on, and they're looking for. I'm not sure if a barge would have windows or not, and if not any windows, would maybe find a piece of wood that isn't really set well enough that we could just kind of like pull off and slip into.
Okay, so this is a large old ore barge. So we see Wazuki in the middle, the darkest part of the night, slinking along the north docks, getting up to this ore barge, looking for an
point.
easy way
Yeah.
in, a weak point. What kind of role do you think this is going to be?
I would say, it's seeming like it's probably gonna be Tinker, I would think, if it's like trying to actually find these weak points and that sort of stuff.
Makes sense.
So I'd be down for that.
Do you want to push yourself or?
This is a flashback.
Yes.
Yeah, flashback.
So we could say, Ola could give you a hand since we were here earlier putting explosives down anyway.
Sure.
Yes,
sure.
please.
So Ola could take a point of stress to give you an extra die.
Okay. Perfect. What would be the devil's bargain with the?
Regardless of what happens, you're going to take level 1 harm, marked
By the cult?
marked by the cult.
I can deal with that. I'm fine with
Okay.
that. And when I do the devil's bargain, does that give me another die or no?
Yep, gives you an extra
Okay.
die. So you would get 2 bonus die for this, and your level 1 harm will be filled up
Okay. And
after this roll. After the roll.
okay, perfect. And position is
So this is a risky standard effect.
okay. I will
You
make
can
it
push it.
desperate.
Okay, desperate great effect.
Cool. Okay, dokes, and that means it's there. And I have 2 die. All right, folks. 1, 2, 3. Gosh
Absolute
darn
failure.
it.
Okay, on a desperate roll. So you can resist this effects with resolve if you want. You're going to succeed. It's a flashback. So you found you found an area on this barge where it's obvious that the whole there's no windows in this barge, but you've actually found that there are some panels you can pull away where there used to be windows, and you can get in that way. But by doing it, you've set off a demon trap. So
nice.
You're going to succeed regardless. And you can resist this if you want with resolve. But if you don't, you're going to fill up your level 3 and level 2 harm.
I will definitely try to use resolve.
That's what desperate actions. I mean,
Yeah,
they're wonderful, but risky. Okay.
they're awesome. A 2 and a 4.
Okay. So you take 2 points of stress.
Okay.
You fill up your level 2 harm completely.
Mm-hmm.
With demon scourged. and it is a 2 stress flashback. So you should be up to about 8 stress now, but you did find a way into the barge for you guys.
I'm happy with that.
All right. So we come back to the present, and you see a battered Wazuki, a battered Oleg, a battered Biscuits running up the docks towards the barge.
Biscuits is going to stay on the docks.
Okay. We see the mistress in her disguise rowing Ulf furiously towards the barge. And then there's Placid in the water. You've heard all the explosions go off. You hear the sounds of footsteps thundering up the dock. You see out of the corner of your eye the mistress in her disguise rowing Ulf towards the barge. What do?
I wait until he pulls up alongside, and then I pull myself out and whisper in his ear, "The Red Ledgers send their regards."
Okay.
All right, yeah. So I kind of stop the barge when I get there, and I'm like, all right, we've got some guys inside this. Should be safe.
Okay, pulls up. You hear the mistress say this. Is there anything you wanted to accomplish with telling him this other than...
Yes, I am dumping this maggot-ridden horror grenade deep into his soul.
Okay. What kind of role do you feel is best for this?
Skirmish, because I'm going right up to him and going boom in his face.
I like it.
I'd like to tag team this by being there at the reaction with some trance powder, just to make sure that this does not come back to directly kill me.
Instead of a separate role?
Yeah, you can take that as an assist.
Sweet.
So you get 1 bonus.
The 2 of us blow things in his face.
All right, what's my position?
So this is risky standard. I mean, he's on alert. He knows bad things are happening, but it's risky standard.
Risky standard with a bonus dice works for me. Kaplowy.
5. Okay, success with consequences. So you shove this spirit maggot ball and you feel it move through the wall of his chest and just go in and detonate through his soul. And he's starting to, he's starting to shake and collapse. However, it's at that moment that you remember that he was supposed to die in the barge. So the effect is, no, he's dead. He dies. Shit. He dies right there,
that
outside the barge. So Ulf is dead. The consequence is that nobody's going to believe the cult did it now. So
they will
still have issues.
We've still got 5 spirit grenades, and I'm setting those off in the barge.
Okay, so you want to resist this consequence then?
Yes, I do.
Is what I'm hearing. Okay,
yeah, very much so.
So you'll resist this with. I'm going to say insight, because you're trying to ensure that the circumstances of what just happened happen in a way that still isn't going to blow your plan.
Okay. Yeah, it's that or trying to delay the burn on the spirit thing, which might work.
You could do that. That would be resolve. You could
that would work better for me.
Okay, so you're trying to control the detonation of this spirit bomb inside him until you can get him inside. So, resist with resolve.
Is there any way I can? Is this an assistable thing?
No, not with a resistance roll. So,
is this a devil's bargainable thing?
Nope, just a straight resistance roll.
Straight resistance roll, no bonus die.
Roll your resolve.
Oh, hang on. I've got spirity stuff, haven't I? I've got a fine spirit mask. I've got my lightning hook. I've got electroplasm.
None of that helps with resolve.
This
is just an internal offset to the consequences.
There we go then.
5. So you take 1 point of stress, which is good. Not that big of a deal, good. Right? You got a good roll there. And you're basically using your own powers to control this maggot bomb inside his body now and you're stopping it from exploding at the moment, but you have to get him on the barge immediately.
On the boat.
And down
Can
and
I-
down and down in the ritual circle.
We need
At that point,
extraction now.
So you guys are there in the rowboat right as Oleg and Wazuki get up to the side of the barge. What do? You guys are all basically within shouting distance of one another.
Get him on the boat.
Get him up! Get him up!
Oh, get him over here then. Pass the legs.
Can Oleg attempt to throw a line to them? Say he brought like climbing gear, like rope and grapple, and just like throw it out there and try to just sort of get them closer, or just put the body on it and drag the body.
Yeah,
in,
I mean,
something
literally,
like
we're
that.
right
body.
by the barge. There's the barge, there's us in the water, and you're like there at the landing point. So we're all good. We're right there. Can we not just manhandle this guy into the barge?
Okay.
It's totally up to you. However you guys want to do it.
Oh, I'm not
So-
very strong.
I wasn't sure because Aaron had described it as we were further apart than that. So
Okay.
like, we were.
No, yeah,
shouting
so
distance.
you guys are on that is the Mistress and Placid are on the far side of the barge in the rowboat. You guys are coming up the dock, so you're shouting, and this is an oar barge, so it's pretty big. I mean, it's 25 feet wide, and you're on opposite sides of it, port and starboard side of it, so to speak.
So
Alright.
could me and Oleg rush over to the other side then,
Jump on the barge and run across the other side. Sure,
so
Yeah.
that we're closest to them, and then pull them into the boat?
Of course,
absolutely.
there's a cult on here, so we've got. I'm not sure.
We can deal with that when we get there.
I mean, you break stuff. You can break the cult members, break the cultists, so we come across them. We'll be fine.
But you're covered for the
Right.
cult, don't worry.
Don't you have the chattery
Yeah.
box thing?
Huh?
The chattery box thing.
It's not a chattery box. It needs to go on the back of
Yeah,
this
that's what I
guy
mean.
when we
Slap
kill
it
him.
on him. He's dying.
Yeah, we need to get him on the boat first. We haven't done that
Get him
yet.
on- Get him on the boat.
That's what I'm saying.
Hee-haw!
So, what action do you want to take to try to get him on the boat, or do you want to do something else?
I think a skirmish suits.
Yeah, I could do a skirmish as well.
It's
Try
skirmish
and
or wreck,
voice-
because wreck is the savage force and skirmish is the brawling, wrestling, close combat angle. I think
Right.
skirmish.
I think this would be a cool time for Leadbelly to show up his martial prowess and hoive. Or
I'm
heathen.
generally confused as to what you.
So, at the moment,
and
at
he'll
the moment,
throw. No, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, at the moment, you guys are still on the dock on the other side
Yeah.
of the barge, and they're on the far side of the barge to you in the rowboat.
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna try pushing on our end, and you guys tried running over and pulling.
Yeah, I mean, I think going back to the original idea I had was to just try to get to the top of the barge and lower like my climbing gear, wrap it around, and I'll pull them up. That
Sounds
was
good.
kind of the idea. I was
What
getting.
role do you think that would be?
That was a good question. Wreck. Wreck is just what, force or something?
Yeah, brute force is wreck.
Right.
I guess that.
So with wreck, that's you're basically just acts of violence, so to speak, which is fine. But to use that to get him up is going to be risky, limited effect.
Okay.
I'll give you a dice by pushing from the other side to get him up there.
Okay.
Okay, so Placid takes his 8th stress as we.
Here it comes.
Oh my god.
And then
So risky,
I'll put-
limited with a bonus dice at the moment.
okay.
You could take a devil's bargain. You could change position and effect.
Yeah, I was thinking of trying to. I should be able to push myself. By the way, I looked it up. Pushing yourself and assistance aren't mutually exclusive.
Okay.
So I wanted to push myself to try to yank him up further, and then definitely try position for effect
Okay.
as well.
So desperate for standard effect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
And I got the assistance die from in the push, and then okay. All right, so it's risky, standard,
Desperate standard.
sorry.
Oh.
Let me do it again. That's right. Desperate, standard. All right.
Fine.
Fold.
Okay, success with consequences. So you manage to you lasso him. He's still breathing. You yank him up onto the boat. As you are doing so, though, you take level 1 harm, wrenched shoulder, but I think your level 1 is already filled, so it would. So we'll take it up to 1 block and level 2 dislocated shoulder.
I think. Can I resist that?
You
and
can
just trauma
resist
the
that.
hell out. Yeah.
You can make a prowess roll and resist that.
Okay, so I'll do that. And 2.
So yes, you trauma.
So trauma out. Yep.
So you guys see Oleg yanks him up successfully, and then seeing everything going on around him, the explosions are just going off in his ears. Oleg just kind of falls back on the docks and takes off into Northport.
Does Belgian?
Perhaps looking for Veldrin.
Is that
But
what
the
it's like
body's
when I
on-
do it?
And then I would take the body and start. I'm like, oh, yeah, lead belly.
I've got
All
you,
right.
mate. Don't worry, I got this.
You're on the ground. You're not in the boat yet, are you?
I was climbing up, pushing the body up behind. That's partly how we got the body up there.
You're climbing and pushing.
Getting the body up was the hard part, but the mistress and Placid are able to get up on the barge if they want to at this point.
Oh yeah, it's on.
Yeah,
Biscuits, you're still out on the dock. You see this. They managed to wrestle the body on top of the barge. What do? You've got moments now. You can feel this thing unraveling in its chest, Placid. All of your mystical abilities to try to hold it. It's literally like trying to hold a fistful of maggots in your hands without having any of them crawl free.
Can you please?
Ujiki, push!
How far do they still need to get?
I want
Maybe
to assist.
we need to get inside the ship
Is there
and
like a
find the ritual
a
spot
flippy
to
flappy-
put him. So
Okay, I
I don't.
I can
I don't
do
know
that.
how we're gonna pull
No,
that
no,
off.
That's no problem at all.
Uh-huh.
I want to run ahead I think, as people are setting stuff up
Biscuits,
and try to find the most convenient ways to
Oh,
dump this
you're
body
about to get an entrance. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh.
Can you use 2 items at the same time?
Yeah, there's no issue with that as long as you've got space in your load for them.
I'm gonna grab my rifle from behind a
Big
crate
barrel of biscuits.
on the docks, and stick something vaguely round looking in the end that Lead Belly's made for me. So my fine long rifle and an unusual weapon.
All right, I like it. So I think I know where this is going.
Yeah, I've seen
Line-
Riker use
line it
these
up.
on jazz programs on the holodeck.
just far enough ahead of them to make a gap without making a gap in them.
Okay. What kind of role do you think this is?
This is, I mean, it still feels very wreck, but like, I don't know.
I mean, you're trying to place the shot precisely, so it could be finesse or it could be hunt. I mean,
I could see this.
You know,
as
you're-
hunt.
We're trying to move our target to the exact place they need to be. So I'm gonna go with hunt, if
Okay.
that's okay.
that is totally fine. So this is risky standard. I mean, you're basically just taking a shot.
Yeah.
There are, obviously
do.
devil's bargains. You can push yourself.
I'm gonna push it
Okay.
because I need this to go right.
Take 2 stress and
Yep. I've added them in.
and let's see. Crit. Okay, so
Wow.
you line the shot up perfectly. The round goes through. The grenade actually punches through enough that when it blows out a hatch that you didn't even realize you were aiming for. So instead of actually destroying part of the boat, it actually slides into a crack, and then blows this hidden hinge up, and this flap just flaps open into the interior. So obviously, this looked like it was probably used as a smuggling load hold instead of going into the main hold. This is a way in through the side of the barge. So you've managed to do it without damaging the boat too badly, which is critical if you want somebody to actually believe that this guy was here for other reasons.
Yeah.
Other reasons. And then I think Biscuits is just gonna slide back against the wall down as far as he can get.
I like it. You guys see, you hear the report of the rifle go off. You hear a very soft boom, much softer than you thought you would hear, and this hatch blows open on the side of the barge, and you have access to the interior.
Oh, sweet heaven.
Get him in. Chuck the body
Let's
in.
go.
That's
Waziki, hit him with the creepy skeleton mouth.
well. We have to make sure he's in the actual circle.
He'll be in the
So-
bloody circle. Trust me.
I will jump down with the body to make
Okay.
sure it is put into the right spot.
Okay.
If that is where we're landing.
I would
And
like
then-
to assist in this regards
Okay.
for the maneuvering.
So Wazuki is jumping into the barge with the body and the skeletal thing.
Yeah.
The madam is helping you. What kind of roll are you looking to make here to find the right spot? And are you worried about anybody in this barge actually seeing you or dealing with you in some way?
Of always, yeah, for sure. I don't want to.
I think I'll hop down too and be on the lookout for people in the barge.
I'd probably
That's
go
how I think.
shoot for finesse, trying to get in quickly.
Okay. So let's start first with
Uh-huh.
the mistress dropping down and scanning the area to see if there's anything you need to be worried about, because depending on how she does, you may get an assist on it. So
I got you.
So this would be a study then for me?
sounds reasonable. Risky
Alright.
standard.
I mean, I could do a prowl also. They're just
Either-
about the same.
both would be
um,
risky standard.
All right.
They'll just give you
and-
that would give you different information potentially. That's all.
Okay. Devil's bargain on this?
Devil's bargain on this one. You guys, in your haste to get him in here, are going to leave some information behind that the members of this cult will potentially be able to use to track you down.
I'm going to push. That didn't end too well last time.
Yeah, we
I
need
like
to
it.
stop leaving evidence every time we do something.
Okay, so you succeeded on your
Sure.
study roll. So as you're looking around, you don't see anyone else in this barge. You do see, and the whole interior of this barge is a giant, is a giant ritual space. There's a great circle and pentagram, and then off to the side there's a smaller circle with a triangle. But because you've got a 6, you also you can tell that there is a presence here, but you don't see anyone.
There's a presence here, and it's not the kind that I can make out. We're going to need the whisper.
Can't do anything till we explode this guy.
Right, yes. After that.
So Suzuki, with that information, that will improve your position as you try to move the body.
Okay. Nice. Does the spirit bane charm help defer evil presences?
That is, it definitely helps. Yes.
I'm gonna make sure that's on.
Yeah, mine's on too.
So am I still able to do finesse to get in quickly, since
Yeah. You can definitely use finesse to get his body into the right position.
Okay. I will do that. Cool. All right. So let us do. Ooh. Do. I'll also break my silence potion vial just in case.
Sure.
And then I will do the finesse. What would it have been normally? What's it pushed up to?
It would normally be risky standard. But so now with the assist of the mistress, it's risky great effect.
Got you. Okay. I think
of course you can push it if you want to go up to desperate for extreme effect, but
what's everyone does I want to go desperate because I get to replace the die. I get the XP and I also replace the die that I lose because of Demon Scourge. So yeah, I will make that, and then it's now extreme.
Yep.
Perfect.
Desperate extreme effect. Finesse.
Okay.
You can't push yourself because you would trauma out before you.
Okay,
roll.
that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Perfect. Okay. Oh god, I don't think Devil's Bargain's gonna be helpful. It's gonna just destroy us. Okay, tell me what it is. Tell me what it is.
So the Devil's Bargain here is, regardless of what happens, when you heal from your Demon Scourge, you will always have one block of your level 1 harm demon scarred.
Oh, yes.
Always be filled.
Yeah, I'll do it. That sounds awesome.
Okay.
So that gets me an additional die.
That is correct.
Okay, perfect. So that means I have 3 in total. 4, 4, and a 5.
Okay. So you succeed. You get him in the spot. You pull him into the circle where he needs to be. You clamp this thing on his back right as the maggot bomb explodes. He expires. His soul is obliterated by this maggot bomb, and his body is trapped in stasis by this thing that you've put on his back that was made by the Cult of Woe as a ritual implement to help whoever wears it summon a demon. So you've made it look like he was attempting to summon a demon and died while doing it. However, there were consequences. So there was a demonic backlash from the demon in the room, and you breaking the circle. You can resist it if you want. At the moment, it's level 4 harm. You die because it was a desperate roll.
That's fair. That's fair.
You can resist it with resolve.
I mean,
and you get a +1 die on your resistance roll because you're wearing your Spirit Bane charm.
Oh, okay. Well, at least try.
Yeah, odds are you're going to trauma out, but you never can tell.
Yeah, I'm down.
It's a resolve roll. You got 0
dying.
in it, so you roll 2. So you actually just roll 1 dice. So you're going to end up rolling 1 die. So when you do your resolve roll, it'll ask you for 1. You're put in that 1 bonus die, and it should just roll once.
Cool. A 6. Holy crap!
You take no stress. You take no stress, and you resist the demonic fire through your body. When you do heal, and I'm just going to put this down here in level 1 harm right now. So
can I do a thing real quick?
You can do it.
So with this, because demons are the same, can be affected the same as if you could spirit punch them. Demons can also be So he starts coming at me, and I still Patches is with me. He's just all bundled up properly. The only thing popping out is just his head. Everything else is just bundled up. And when that thing comes close, his head little pops out and fucking bites him. And the demon's like, fuck. And,
I like it. So Patches scares this demon off. you guys have left the body. You've successfully planted it to look like that he was involved in some sort of demon summoning. His men who have survived will tell the rest of his gang that he was heading out to that barge with someone to do something. So at the moment, it looks like everything kind of worked out, and we're gonna fade to black as you. Oh, go ahead.
Can Biscuits do one last very extreme thing?
Yeah.
He's gonna pin a little note to his uniform that he's still wearing that says, "Please deposit to nearest Physica," and then pull out his pistol, grab hold of his stomach, kind of push, like trying to find where the wriggling spirit thing is, stick the pistol in one of the shrapnel wounds, and just pull the trigger with electroplasmic ammunition.
Okay. And it successfully goes off. And the smoking corpse of Ulf Ironborn, soulless, battered corpse, is left on this cult's barge. Apparently with no one really knowing exactly what happened. And we fade to black there. We'll pick up next week with the consequences of our heist and some downtime activities, and we'll get to know a little about Leadbelly's trauma next week. So we've got a quick out for tonight. So instead of going through the roundtable with everybody, we're just going to say thank you for tuning in to Garblag Games. Whether you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube, please come by our Discord and join the conversation with us. Like and subscribe, and we will see you all next week.
And I will remember to open OBS to close us down. Da, da, da.